Hi, I'm here to provide the highlights from our Managing Stress Effectively class that we just completed for our coaches and athletic directors. We've really focused on building emotional regulation. So the idea of responding versus reacting and some tools that can help you do that. The first is an acronym called Pact, and this is a response to stress. And the idea is when you are going to enter into a stressful situation, it could be a conversation with a coach, a parent, a student, athlete. We want you to first pause and take some breaths so that you can really assess what's going on. The second is to assess. So I do my breathing and I assess the situation so that I can understand, is there something that is affecting me? Do I see the situation clearly? And then I'm going to choose the healthiest course of action. And that means that maybe you have that meeting right now, maybe you postpone it. Maybe you send that email, maybe you review it again or have someone else review it. And once you choose that course of action, you take the action. So again, that is PACT. The very simple: pause, assess, choose, and take action. The second area with emotional regulation is the idea of conscious breathing. And this is something that you would do when you're feeling stressed or anxious, if you feel out of control, if you want a sense of peace, or if you want to set a clear intention. And we recommend doing this a few times a day as practice. It doesn't have to be for a long period of time. It can be maybe 3 to 5 breath cycles. But it just gets you back into your body and into the present moment. We use this with athletes and teams to tell them, try to incorporate this into your practices, into your games, so that you can always be in the present as much as possible. And so the way that you do conscious breathing is you first take a moment to just be in a quiet place. You don't have to close your eyes, it's up to you. But the goal is that you're going to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And you're going to take these breaths in a slower than normal pattern, but it shouldn't be too far off of your regular breathing pattern. So in essence, I'm going to breathe in through my nose, ideally at about a rate of 5 breaths or 5 seconds, and then I breathe out at least the same amount. So I'm going in through my nose, out through my mouth or my nose, and what I'm focused on is whatever brings me peace. So it could be, how your pet feels, or when you're out in a beautiful setting. Whatever brings you peace and relaxation is where the conscious breathing and setting your intentions can be. So that's another tool that we went over. The last things we covered were really about reframing the way you look at things. So if you can change your perspective and create a more positive environment. We do a lot with the VIA character strengths. So knowing what your 24 character strengths are, and especially your top 5, is kind of foundational for the work we do with both coaches and with teams. And the idea is you can use character strengths to create a positive mindset. And a couple of them that we covered were, the first one was appreciation of beauty and excellence. And the idea around that is really for you to spend some time outside if you can, and just appreciating your surroundings. You can also use pictures. You take a picture of something and you look at it, and if it inspires you. So that's appreciation of beauty. The second is creating a gratitude practice. And a gratitude practice can be any time of day. Some people like to do it first thing in the morning. Some people like to do it at the end of the day. We suggest you using a gratitude practice with your teams also, and your staffs. So the idea of finding the good and the good in what people are doing is part of a gratitude practice. And then the last one is perspective. And one of the things that you can do is look at things from a different perspective. And so one way we suggest is that you take some time to think of quotes that inspire you. And so if you can find a quote and you then will meditate on that. Basically just looking at it. It can be 30 seconds, 60 seconds of reading it over and over. With teams and also with staffs, I've found that when we say, okay, every week or every month, someone gets to find and highlight a quote or a picture that inspires them and gets to talk about that. So depending on how your seasons run, it can be a weekly thing, it can be a bi-weekly thing, but it's a great way to bring positive perspective into it, which as part of stress management is critical. And so that's really what we covered. Now, one of the biggest takeaways that came out of this was for both athletic directors and coaches, the number one stressor right now seems to be parents. And in my coaching days, that was definitely a stressor for me also. So if that's something that you're dealing with, please reach out because we have some programs that we could help you with or some suggestions. So that is one area that, especially with coaches, newer coaches, or coaches in high stress environments, we really created programs to try to help them. So I hope this was beneficial for you, and I look forward to talking with you in the future. Thank you again.